All right, here we go. Hey folks, I'm CJ, and this is unboxing of a Raleigh Retroglide cruiser. I am brand new to video blogging. I decided to do an unboxing video because I heard that's what people are into now. My equipment's super crude. My phone is acting as the camera. My camera stand is actually my bicycle repair stand. There's probably not going to be any editing because I don't know how to do that. I was going to make some cue cards. So my speech was more flowing, but I decided to drink some beer instead. So here we are. Let's begin. I'm not a big fan of cruiser bikes. I mean, they're just not what I'm into. I don't like the dorky upright geometry. I cannot stand coaster brakes. I'm not a big fan of the big old school wide tires. However, I was inspired over the summer by all the camping I did. I'd go into these campsites and a lot of people had cruiser bikes, which makes sense. You know, they're simple, they're low maintenance, easy to transport. The big wide tires roll very slowly, but they roll over a wide variety of surfaces. So I decided I wanted a cruiser bike for my camping trips, but I wanted to build it up as a cruiser bike that I would like. Lightweight, fast, nimble, kind of opposite of what you would expect for a cruiser bike. That's why I chose this Raleigh Retroglide. It's an aluminum frame. As it's supposed to be 60-61 aluminum from what I understand. Based off of a spec sheet I found on it from like 2015. Let's see. So yeah, let's get started. I've got some tools. We're going to do some measuring, so I know what kind of components I need to buy for it. We might cobble some things kind of halfway together. We might take some things apart. We'll see. This bike's been sitting here for like 3 or 4 days. It's been so hard not to dig into it. Wow. Let's grab. Alright, looks like I fished out a seat. And a seat post. I'm not into the big wide seats. I'll put I'll probably put a Brooks England leather saddle on this. But really, that's a decent seat. I mean, it is what it is. It's a decent wide saddle. It's not a bad component. .2 seat post. This is okay. This is a good part too. You know, for what we paid for this bike. I'm not sure what it cost originally, but I got a good deal on it on Amazon. I actually think this bike, I'm not sure whether it's made anymore, and I think I might have scored like an overstock type deal, which is why it was on Amazon. But I like that the seat post is 27.2 millimeter around, because that's a very common size. And apparently everything on this bike is like silver componentry, chrome, silver, bare metal, what have you. You know, I don't know whether I'll stick with that. I don't know whether I will, when I build up this bike, I don't know whether I'll stick with that or whether I will go with black. A lot of my stuff is black. We'll see. Looks like I'm going to have to pull this whole thing out as a unit. Oh my goodness. Oh. See what's in the box. Oh, we got the we got the instruction manual. Oh, and brand new plastic pedals. I can't tell right off the bat whether these are 9/16 or ½ inch. I almost want to say they're ½ inch, but I could be mistaken. Anyway, I'll sell these off and put something on it I like. Oh, and we got the reflectors. Those are useless. Looks like I should have grabbed a pair of side cutters for this operation. Oh wow. Okay, so here's a surprise. This looks like it's 1 1/8. This is 1 1/8 fork tube, which is a very oddball type of thing. I mean, usually it's 1 1/8 threaded. Usually you find 1 1/8 threadless with clamp-on stems versus 1 inch with threaded componentry. This is such an oddball to me that you in a situation like this, you either got to find like very old componentry, like vintage componentry, to make 1 1/8 threaded work, or you just have to get rid of it and put on 1 1/8 clamp componentry, clamp on stems and what have you. So that's a little bit of a surprise there. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And I say that just because anything 1 1/8 threaded, hardly anybody makes anything for that anymore. So there's a surprise. Big dorky handlebars. I make fun of this, but these components are really decent. I'm impressed so far with what Raleigh's put on this bike. Let's get the wheels off of it. I'm seeing a 36-inch, or 36. I'm seeing a 36 spoke count. Comes with fenders. I should have gotten a magnet to figure out whether the fenders are aluminum or not. I'll figure that out later. And I haven't decided whether I'll put fenders on it when I do the build-up. I'm just guessing that they're like just some pot steel, but yeah, that's not a big deal. Not really digging the color, but I like the graphics. So this is, of course, the front wheel, and we have color match rims. I guarantee, yeah, these are like single wall rims, great big white things. What are the, let's see what the tires are. Tires are, great big squared off heavy things. I'm not seeing a name brand on the tires to speak of at all. It's okay. The wheel sets, I mean, because I will build this bike up as a freewheel bike, I'm going to end up replacing the wheel sets anyway. Oh my goodness, somebody's got this axle tight, and I'm curious. Right now, we want to check. I want to know whether this is metric or standard. And I think my tool's so terrible that I'm not going to be able to tell. Okay, so let's gauge the axle, and I'm seeing that it is probably a 3/8 axle, which is typical. It could be a 9mm. I don't know. I don't know yet. Let's look at the rest of the bike. So far, I have been surprised about the 1 1/8 threaded headset. I don't know what I'm going to do about that in relation to the forks, whether I will replace the forks or whether I will try to make that work. Got the Raleigh, nice Raleigh head badge. So I see we've got a one-piece crank, and I'm pretty sure that's an 1/8" chain. I've got some bikes with 8" chains on them, but once again, it's hard to find componentry for the 1/8" stuff anymore. That's most everything is 3/32. So I don't know whether I will retain that. Well, I definitely am not going to retain the one-piece crank and the American bottom bracket. I will get like this little adapter piece that slides into the bottom bracket, and basically it makes it so that you can thread in what you would call, or what is called a European bottom bracket, which is pretty standard bottom bracket for everything else. And I would do a 3-piece crank with a external bearings, like a Scram Courier crank or something like that. Oh, we got a kickstand. I'll be getting rid of that real quick. Not a bad little, it's got not a bad little quick release for the seat post. Of course, I'm not into quick release seat posts or quick release anything, so we will probably be changing that out. So I'm not seeing any kind of emblems or anything that say specifically what this bicycle is made out of, but it is very light. It is in fact aluminum, and I'm going to assume that it is in fact 6061 aluminum. I really want to get this wheel off. Ooh. And the reason I really want to get the wheel off is because I want to make a measurement of the spread of the back axle, so I know what to replace it with. I'll set this down here real quick. I'm sure the rims on this are single wall. Pretty, but I will in turn build this up with oh my god, this tool is useless. Let's get a real tool, shall we? As I pull out a crescent wrench. No shame. Anyway, I got lost there for a minute. Yeah, I will replace this with the good set of rims. High pressure tires, so I can, like, you know, bomb down state park trails and what have you. Paved trails. And, you know, if I make it into a city or anything like that, I have a bike that can handle that. Okay. Oh boy, that's heavy. So my back triangle spread looks to be oh wow. So this looks actually to be 110 millimeter, which is unusual. I'll end up buying componentry from like BMX, between it being like 3/8 axles and 110 millimeter spread on the rear end. I'll end up buying BMX componentry to build the wheels, which was kind of expected. The cruiser bikes share a lot of DNA with the old school and mid school BMXs. I mean, because the BMXs, they kind of descended from these bikes. So, yeah, there we have it. There is the Raleigh Retroglide Cruiser, be it in pieces. I've got some decisions to make about how I proceed, what I want to do with this bike. I mean, I've got a very good idea what I want to do with this bike as far as building it up in my head. I just gotta, make a list of the parts that I want. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, that's crazy, because this video I'm sure is going to be terrible. But if you did, please throw a like on it and subscribe. I would love to show you this bike once I finish building it up. I could even, obviously I'm going to buy another wheel set for it, so I could do an unboxing of the wheel set. Yeah, and as far as componentries go, I would love to share with you the componentry on all these bikes in video form, because I'm a bit eccentric and I'm very peculiar about my parts, and all these bicycles are very, very unique. So anyway, thank you, and if you have any suggestions, if you hate my face, anything like that, please throw down your criticisms or compliments or what have you on the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.